Heute, take two, der zweite Versuch. It really seems that I get two opportunities every Thursday to share the tricks of the trade that I have picked up in the music industry over the past 34.5 years with you. Allora, and I will put them up on YouTube because I find it very important to do it in this format, so I have the nerves and the energy as if I'm talking to live people. Now, I've had the criticism that I never introduced myself. Allora, good evening. I am Ansi XI, and tonight in this session I would like to focus mainly on using and developing all 5 senses that most people naturally possess. Heute geht es darum, alle 5 Sinnen gleichzeitig beim Musizieren und Ausüben unseres Berufes einzusetzen. I always like during these sessions to talk to you about the mundane things. What do you wear when you meet people for the first time, when you go to a rehearsal, when you go into the theater for a performance? Now I put on a gentle little conservative jacket to cover my arms as a reminder for you to think very well. If you have tattoos of all your old lovers and cats and dogs all down your arms, maybe this is not the first impression you want to make on people when you are auditioning. Once we know each other, es ist eine total andere Sache. Und warum wechsle ich ständig zwischen Deutsch und Englisch? I find it's very important in these sessions that we all retain the flexibility and practice it during these sessions of being in a rehearsal situation where we do not all have a common language. As I am German and work mostly in the German-speaking part of the world, obviously for me es ist normal, es ist selbstverständlich that one has all basic communications necessary for the work in German, English, Italian and French. You do not have to speak these languages perfectly, you have to sing them perfectly, aber die Kommunikation ist das Wichtigste. Communication is the most important, which gets us back to the main theme of this chat, using all of your senses. Now, I like remaining absolutely practical. When you warm up your voice, I know many singers do it like nearly half asleep. One step back. Very old school first. If you do your exercises, 5-note little scales up and down, do make sure you do them in major and minor. And then, if you have all 5 of your senses, may I please suggest using your senses while doing your 5-step scale exercises. Comme ça. You have 5 senses, most of us. You see, you smell, you touch, because we don't touch our faces in the coronavirus time. We're touching, in this instance, it's just your lips touching each other. We taste and we hear. And we have 5 basic Italian vowels that actually happen in most music you are going to sing in your life. So you could have, instead of you could see the note before you sing it. Smell the next one before you sing it. Touch the next one. taste the next one, or hear the next one before you sing it, or, and rotate back all on the same breath to the tasting, or to the touching, to the smell, and landing in the eyes. Now, to make sure that you can retain the suggestion of an exercise, obviously I have requisite, and let me just cover the label. Most of us have some kind of chocolate collection. So I'll take one out to demonstrate what I mean about training your senses using chocolate. Schokolade kann auch vegan sein und ohne Milchprodukte. There are chocolates for every kind of possible allergy that you can imagine. So we first see the chocolate. We can smell it. We can touch it. And then we put it in the mouth and taste it. And crunch down it and hear it. Concentrating again on tasting it. And then smell the different taste of what the chocolate is now like when it's in your mouth. First we touch it. Before we smell it. Augen, eyes, see the memory of the chocolate you're enjoying. For you to really do these exercises at home, I know, as has been suggested, it is better I will get a professional singer to do these exercises with you to make sure you taste them. And just for your balance, fürs Gleichgewicht als Mensch, please make sure that when you do your warm-up sessions every day, exercises, hopefully slowly so your intonation is good, you do them in major and minor. So we just do one round so you can see if you feel the principle using all 5 senses. See with the eyes before you sing the ahs. Smell the nose before you sing it. Feel it on your lips before you do. Taste before you do. And hear it before you go into the tasting it again. Touching it again. Smelling it again. Sing that. What you can imagine, you will sing more securely, because all these exercises we do, the voice will remember it and punish you if you don't do it regularly. Now, these are the practical exercises, but why I find being aware of the senses so important is that when we are performing in front of a live audience, which I hope we will soon do very often again, in an ideal world, all 5 senses of every person in the audience should be invited into your performance. Alle 5 Sinnen, alle Zuhörer und Zuschauer sollen beim Genießen des Produktes auf der Bühne reingezogen werden. Thus, if you are consciously, while you are training your voice, not just training the voice, but the consciousness of your senses, obviously it follows logically that your sensual communication with the audience will be pure. During a performance, obviously it's unlikely that you're going to be thinking about, I'm going to taste that phrase and then smell that one. But once you take care of all of these senses, you will have a balanced voice, balanced musicianship, and your legato will be absolutely natural. Again, I never get bored with reminding about singing legato to have it visible. Problem with singing often is that we cannot see what we are doing. But if you can see every time you sing a phrase, even with accents, even some rests in between, that every single orange bubble is a consonant flowing in a happy bed of vowels. Jedes orangefarbenes Pünktchen, Bläschen ist ein glücklicher Konsonant, der in der Welle, im Fluss von alle die Vokalen endlos weiter fließen. So I'll just leave it here so you can see what you do with that. Now, I have another one of my favorite props here. Most of us have mobile phones. And practically speaking, I have already admitted to you that I think it's a good idea. We must have phones because if you're going to be a musician, you need to be reachable so you can get the good jobs. To stay on top of the market, to be informed. These are not cigarettes, it's a phone, really. To stay on top of the market, you need to be informed, and we are fortunate that we have this Werkzeug. Nicht nur für Spielen, not only to play, although sometimes playing on something like this might just keep you sane in a bad situation. Now, apart from using it to warm up, and also like recording your sessions so you can analyze for yourself what you want to take with. For example, if you get an Einspringer, as we call it in German, if you have to jump into a production quickly where you haven't rehearsed, say you get called the morning and you have to sing that same evening. Once you get to the theater, there might be time for somebody to show you the blocking of what you have to do. You might have some time with the conductor. Watch that, watch this, I'll leave you free there. I'll see you at the applause. But if you have recorded the role, all your standard roles, then you can remind yourself on the way to the Einspringer about the music. Same thing with your iPad oder ähnliches. Falls man ein iPad hat, please put all the music that you have in your standard repertoire in digital form, that you can grab it even if you're having a holiday on a beach, hopefully soon. You can look at the music immediately before being expected to perform. Immer parat sein mit allen 5 Sinnen. And this today, my new suggestion for what do you do with your phone is to really stimulate your oral capabilities, das Hören damit anzuregen und aktiv weiterzuentwickeln. I have here, let me put it closer to the mic so you can hear very simply a naturally purring cat. Now, if you listen to that, just listen. For example, closing your eyes. If you can't close your eyes easily, put one of the sleeping masks or one of your normal face masks on so you can focus on the hearing. As you hear an animal purring, obviously content, the natural reaction of your body is blood pressure will come down. Then you have it. Which means if you do your exercises or warm-ups with something like this, just on the floor, right by you, that you feel the vibrations and you are aware of something positive. Also, I thought I'd share this with you because something positive in our line of work doesn't often happen. So it's very important that you have your tricks. This works for me all the time. You have your recording of whatever animal, something natural, not something that's going to stress you out, running while you do your exercises. So you can concentrate on singing with that energy or to get more hard work against the energy. For really hardcore singers, if you want to make sure that you are not bothered by anything that happens acoustically around you, I suggest using a rap song on your headphones while singing your standard repertoire. My favorite rap song is I like big back, big, you know all of that. Your rap song, and you sing your own song, because to train as an opera singer means you will be running around stage and need to be flexible. The other reason I insist on doing these live sessions and sharing them with people is I want to share the experiences I have gathered from people who are no longer alive, and especially the generation of singers where it wasn't that important to publish a book, to write articles, to write fabulous things about themselves on social media. And my shining example for today is Maestro Carlo Franci, who I worked with for a long time and first met when I was a very young person in theatre in South Africa, where he was my GMD, chef conductor, for 3 years. Now, what do we take with from these meetings with people? Obviously, as we grow up, please notice I don't say we get older. Ich sage nicht, wie wir älter werden, wie wir erwachsen werden oder mehr Erfahrung sammeln. These meetings that we had can make your life so much more easy, and all the positive meetings you've had in your life will sustain you. Thus, I share with you, Maestro Franci, I met fresh from the airport when we did a Turandot music hall. He pitched up without his score, found out later he never conducts with a score. He has everything memorized. You don't have to, as a conductor, have it memorized, but I'm always impressed by it. And he greeted everybody, and as an example for me, didn't waste anybody's time by making sure that to find out about everybody there. I found out later he had learned the names of all the singers before. He said, "Hello, it's nice to see you, let's start at," and he gave the rehearsal number he had memorized, and off we went, frolicking through the music. Instead of talking about it and trying to see who was the most important or the most beautiful in the room, direkt wurde gearbeitet. And there was no discussion of, are you jet lagged? We worked. And the basic tone of decency in his communication, I'm still trying to get that ability. If he liked something, he would immediately light up during rehearsals or performances like a child at Christmas time. Direkte Kommunikation. Jedes Mal beim Sehen oder Hören von etwas, was ihm gefallen hat, strahlte sein gesamtes Gesicht. And this great conductor, even in rehearsals, as the music was running, would sometimes say, "Thank you very much," and "I'm happy." And also, same thing in the orchestra. The people who played beautifully, or like there was a little chaos and they came back together again, he would, even in performances, say thank you. From Maestro Franci, I learned that good manners are better for doing your job. Sometimes it is not possible to retain your good manners because of the environment you are in, but please just ask yourself every time, is there a more decent version of this conversation I want to have now? Bitte dich selber nur jedes Mal fragen, gibt es eine anständige Alternative für was ich jetzt vorhabe zu sagen? Danke, Maestro Franci. And then we had an Attila production together where a young tenor pitched up and he hadn't learned the music. He showed very clearly that he didn't care, that he didn't know the music. And somehow Maestro Franci let us rehearse, and he remained decent. He never said anything. He never went, at this singer who was really out of his depth and not prepared. He just stopped the rehearsal after an hour, disappeared. The evening rehearsal was cancelled, and the next morning a new tenor had been flown in. Now I am talking about the days rehearsing in South Africa during apartheid, before you could write emails and you had every agent that you could grab around the globe to get rid of all of immediately. It was done. And also the getting things done without upsetting the whole universe. Sometimes it's also part of our job. Man wird mal gekündigt. Sometimes you get a nasty, nasty no, or a repeated no. Then the magic word for me is always next. We analyze what went wrong. Some situations are really such that if you are realistic and professional, you go, no, that shouldn't have happened. It did. Light a candle, burn the bad juju, and go on, remaining decent all the time. And about being prepared for any rehearsals, I cannot stress this enough. Die Musik vorher gelernt zu haben, vorbereitet zu sein. Please, when you appear at any musical rehearsal with a conductor, when the whole cast is there, or the whole orchestra is there already for some piece that's going to be just without any scene with it, know your music. Duh. That's what we all get paid for. From Maestro Franci, I just did not learn about the serious things in life. I also learned about celebrating. And from Maestro Franci, from his many good habits, after a piano dress, the piano technical rehearsals, die sind wirklich anstrengend meistens. Have fun where you can, enjoy seeing everything go together, but very important, treat yourself to a fabulous drink afterwards. It doesn't need to be a cocktail, but Maestro Franci's favorite, which I recommend, is Campari, filled up with champagne. Hope we can have one soon, and let's call it a Franci. Now, I have the other theme I thought I should speak to you today. Obviously, always, whatever I wear is open for criticism. Today, because we know each other, I can wear a dress with my arms free. I wore specifically this to talk to the ladies about your jewelry, the earrings. If you have a collar that's high, please make sure that your earrings do not shrink your neck. If you have dangly, dangly, dangly earrings down to there, in the distance, you will look like a pit bull terrier. Please be aware of the optical energy of whatever you choose to wear. Apart from that, the dress recommendation for ladies or gentlemen who like wearing dresses, classical A-line, if you don't know what to wear. And at the moment, many people I know like me, we eat a bit more than we normally do, and we don't exercise quite as much as we should. I don't do exercise, actually. I just don't have a car, and I call that exercise. So if you wear a classical A-line, the line itself always looks elegant, and it will cover whatever sins you want to keep to yourself. Make sure that you buy it in a size that doesn't cut into you anywhere, and the first impression of a dress like this cannot insult anybody looking at you. Now, we have talked about all of our senses and how we are going to use them practically. The other prop I have ready, this, if you want to share it with people, I put mine in my dishwasher before. Funnily enough, also I thought I must share with you. You use it to massage whatever muscles are sore, but this is also the reminder that we stick with our guns, follow the rules, and at some stage we will all know how this virus situation will get out of our hair. Reminder for while you are singing, if you have one of these things, use them so you don't get any blockages while you are memorizing stimulation to make sure of the blood flow. Air on the floor, put it on the floor, roll your foot over it, testing your balance all the time, using the sense of touch, touch, touch all the time while you're training, all at the same time. So for me, multiple tasking in our job, in our training time. Time is so precious. Use it. Focus. Using all the senses, accentuating some of them so that you can be aware of them. Now, because I always talk about so many things durcheinander, wie wir auf Deutsch sagen, I've come up with the possibility to consolidate all the things I talked about in a simple piano solo that will give you the opportunity to think about what I've said and maybe use that time to write me a comment, write me a suggestion, write me a criticism. Now today I want to play Les Nuits de Mai, the Nights of May, literally translated, and in English some people call it Starlit Nights by Mr. Tchaikovsky. This composition is part of 12 pieces that Tchaikovsky wrote for money. It was a commission. It wasn't like he had a very good idea and, oh, I must write this. He also, like many great composers and musicians, worked for money. So this editor, Nikolay Matveyevich Bernard, said to him, oh, come on, 1875, write me like a little piano solo for every month of the year. And then Mr. Bernard went and found the matching texts, like subtext, that he thinks, I think that will sell very well because we must amuse the readers. 1875, no handies. So, and for you to know what I took with me to put into this piano solo, the subtitle for Les Nuits de Mai is written by AFANASY FET and goes thus. What a night, what bliss all about. I thank my native north country. From the kingdom of ice, from the kingdom of snowstorms and snow, how fresh and clean May flies in. So to remind us of all 5 senses flowing all the time, there is Les Nuits de Mai. and with a very gentle hoyotoho. See you next week.